In today's episode, we're going to do an energy check-in, the changing tide, as it were, with the full moon. It's a post full moon video and some of the energies that have been coming through, some of the things that a lot of people are experiencing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi and welcome to Oak Lure Duir. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. And as I said in the intro, we're going to do a little bit of an energy check-in and some of the things that have come through with this full moon, because I don't know about you, but for me personally, I found it really powerful. And it's been interesting because I normally do these videos a good few days in advance and upload them, but I really struggled to grab hold of what was wanting to come through. Now I have a list as long as your arm of all the topics of which I want to make videos. So I have a kind of a schedule and I go through that list as the ideas, as the inspiration get given to me from divine. They go onto a list, and then when it comes to making videos, I have a look at the list and it's like, right, okay, which ones you want me to do? And I'm very much guided like that. That's how I create these videos. But everything that was on the list, it was just like, nope. And the energies over the weekend, I have really needed to take a lot of time to rest. And when I was out walking, I was up at 5 this morning, I was out on the land at 5:30 walking and thinking, right, okay, a tune. What do you want me to talk about? Come on, Gia, tell me, give me the inspiration, give me the nudge, give me the synchronicities. And I came away, I finished my walk and I thought, well, that was a bit useless. There was nothing apparently coming forward, or so I thought. And that's what this video is about, because the energies have shifted. They are changing, and the way that we're going to be getting our information, I believe, will also be changing, will be shifting. It's about using all of our senses and all of our extrasensory senses, extra perceptions, to really grab hold of the information that wants to come through. And it's interesting because a beautiful soul in my group put a post up this morning that was talking about that space between what we know that doesn't function and what we don't know, and the fear in between, that getting comfortable with what I call the void, sitting in the void, that comfortableness. And I've done a few posts on that and I've done a few videos on that, but it was interesting to see that she went through that. And within the community, I've had a few messages and some notifications of some highly spiritual people saying, taking time out. And that was starting to occur before the full moon, and it kind of picked up momentum during the full moon. So it's from what I'm feeling, and you guys tell me what you're feeling, from what I'm feeling is there are two dynamics on the go here. There are those that are needing to take time out to be introspective, to go into a little bit of a hermit mode and integrate these energies and really start to embody them, and how that is going to show up, how they're going to be able to use those energies and show up in a much more authentic way in the future. And those that have been in hermit mode, that have taken in these energies, and it's like little pieces of the puzzle that were missing, which is why they were in hermit mode trying to grab hold of them, but they weren't available to grab hold. So it's almost like a being in that void, in being in a waiting space, waiting for those pieces to come in. And now obviously we've got this full moon. And it was a full moon in Sagittarius, which was interesting. I had to look it up because I'm no astrologer, but I looked it up, and it was a full moon in Sagittarius is very much about looking at our fears, being introspective, and releasing those that no longer want or function for us in our lives. I got it on the other side because I was kind of toying with, and when I was toying with, okay, what does this video need to be about? I had breaking down walls, and so it was interesting. But when I fell into that, because that was the first thing that come in, it was like, right, okay, do a video about breaking down our walls, breaking down those barriers that we've built because of pain, because of circumstance, and put in their place boundaries which are healthy, which just say, okay, these are my boundaries, don't overstep them, which is much more empowering. But it didn't feel right, and yet moving forward, it ties in with what's going on, and the energy update, the energy fill in of this post full moon. There is a lot of change, and yesterday, if you follow me on my Facebook page, yesterday I always do a card of the week read, and the card that came out talked about change. It talked about the changes that are going to be taking place, but what I was actually given when I was doing that, the visual I was given was huge shifts in industry when it comes to high level leadership. There is what I was actually shown, and it may be me wanting to live in a utopic world where everything's love and light, but what I was actually shown was leaders giving big speeches and going off their pat, going off of, basically what they were actually doing is they started channeling and they were giving information. This was the visual I had, and they started talking about and giving information about subjects and things that they intend to create and bring in without it actually having been constructed within the speech that they were going to give. And then the teams afterwards then running around having to kind of work out and strategize as to how they can actually implement that and still make money. Because let's be honest, the world we live in, a world that is driven by money. And we can get into the paradigms of is it good or evil, but money is just an energy exchange. It was a very heartwarming visualization, and if it does come into fruition, because I'm always skeptical when it comes to predictions, because everything is free will. There is nothing set in stone, and things can change. But if it were to come into fruition, what I actually seen, wow, there are going to be some massive changes. But as I said, it was like they were channeling. But the interesting thing with that, when I pulled the card talked about change, but it was number one. And when I was preparing to do this video, when it was like, okay, we're going to do an energy check-in, I was like, yeah, but I know what's going on with me, and I know what's happening with a few of the other people out in the spiritual community, the ones that I've had notifications from, and obviously in the group, the people I've been talking to. But I'm not really kind of feeling anything tangible here. And so I started pulling cards from the same deck, and number 2 came out. And if that's not synchronistic, is that if that's not showing us that this is a progression, and when I really tapped into that, I was given that we will, and these are the changes that we have been waiting for. These are those stepping stones, the progression of where we're going. Drink plenty. That is the thing that's coming out. Rest if you need to. Honor your body. Be aware that the way that you attain your information from divine, the way that you connect with divine, the way that your guides communicate with you is all changing. Be aware of that. Don't automatically go into that. Oh, I'm not connecting. It's just have the patience and go, right, okay, what's really going on here? The synchronicities are there. The information is coming through. The way it is coming through is changing. We're not being shown everything that is unfolding. I personally believe that is a defense mechanism. Let's put it that way. I can't think of a better word, but it's to foil those that don't want us moving forward. Because if that information's available to us, it's also available to those that don't want these changes, and so we are not seeing the whole picture. So don't, if you're somebody that is normally able to see into the future, and you do, and that has been your field with predictive. I mean, the prediction for me has never been a big thing, in the sense that I am very aware that free will exists, and I tend to be very, very cautious with that. Other people will make those predictions and they'll go with them, and that's where they're comfortable, because that's part of their spiritual journey. If you are one of those people and you're not seeing it, don't automatically assume that I'm not getting the information. A lot of the information is being held back. A lot of us have known that for some time, that there's been big pieces of the puzzle that were intentionally removed from the box. Let's put it that way. I'm going to read from the book. It's the Earth Warriors, and those that do follow the page know that I pull a card from these every week. And as I said, yesterday's card was number 1. The card that pulled out for this video is number 2, and it's a turquoise change for a woman. And she came out a few weeks ago within the weekly read, but the message was very, very different. But I want to read the very first bit from the book, because it says, I am the turquoise moon mother, and I come to you now with a message of change. This may be change that you want or change that you fear, but either way, I will show you how to use this change to become stronger, wiser, and more empowered to fulfill your divine destiny. And this is a big thing. That is what kind of like when I read it, and I was like, oh, because this has been coming out time and time again. It's those pieces of the puzzle that were intentionally taken out so that we won't be blocked, we won't be stopped, we will be able to move forward. Because as I said, if we'd had the information, so would the other side that do want these changes. And so these pieces of the puzzle were intentionally taken out. And what we're going to be finding, I believe, from the information that I have received, the energies that I have felt, is over the coming months, we will start to receive these pieces of the puzzle on a global scale, on a community scale, on a personal scale. What way they come in, I'm unsure. It would logically be on a personal level, but I can't be absolute in that. We have to wait and see. I haven't grabbed hold of that information. I've not had a definitive sign, synchronicity, or a intuitive knowing about that. Logically, from the mind, it would be that those personal pieces come in first, because then that will give us and empower us to be able to do what is needed to do to make the changes within the community and on a global scale. Logically. Use your discernment. Use your discernment. It goes on to say, do not fear the changes around you and within you. Trust in the timing of what is happening in your world. There's a lot going on. There are a lot of shifts. There are a lot of changes. As I've said in other videos, change tends to instigate fear. The energies from the new moon, and that is why it's so synchronistic, because the energies of the new moon in Sagittarius is about looking at those fears face on and going, okay, thank you. Great to have you in my life, because you saved me from X, Y, Z. You kept me safe in that period, but you're no longer needed. I no longer need to hold that fear. It no longer serves me. It no longer serves my highest good. It no longer serves my purpose and mission. I'm going to release you with love. Thank you very much. But it's time to go now. And look at the ones that you go, actually, yeah, no, that's going to keep me safe, and I'll keep that. It'll keep me humble to still have that within me. It is still beneficial to have that within me to keep me safe. It's a magical, magical time, people. There are a lot of changes. There are a lot of shifting. There is a lot of uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, we are going to feel a little bit sometimes. Embrace it. Fill yourself with divine love. Hold yourself tenderly, lovingly, with kindness. Give the gratitude out to those around you that positively support you, and to the divine, and to your spirit guides, whoever you work with, however you identify on this journey. Give that gratitude out. Face what you need to face head on, and really step into who you are as a soul being. If you've liked the video, press that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe, share with your friends, and I shall see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.